Welcome back to the channel. Today we are bringing you the story of Lee Sung-min, a low-life rookie who gets a second shot at life by regressing in time, only to mess things up even worse. He thought he could turn his fate around, but somehow, he's just speeding toward disaster. If you're new here, make sure to hit like and subscribe for more videos. The story begins with a young boy named Lee Sung-min, sitting in a strange place. Meanwhile, a man stands in front of him and looks at him. The man believes that Sung-min is an alien from another world. Sung-min is also surprised. He has many questions in his mind. He looks around and finds out that they are in an old-fashioned city. The man scratches his head as he is thinking about how to explain Sung-min everything. Then he says to Sung-min that he knows Sung-min is confused and asks him to calm down and listen. Suddenly, Sung-min takes off his t-shirt and starts tying himself up. The man looks confused. He tells Sung-min to calm down again. He asks him why he is removing his clothes. The man then explains that this world is called Area. It is a world of swords, magic, and monsters. Many demons as well as deadly beasts live here. Because of them, people are always fighting to survive. This world pulls people from different dimensions into its battles. The first place they arrive is this city, called Xenavis. The man asks Sung-min if he has ever learned magic or martial arts. Sung-min stammers, and he replies, "No." He asks if people learn it here. The man nods and says that Sung-min looks like an extracurricular student. Sung-min asks what extracurricular means. The man tells him it is just a name for people like him. He says he will explain more later. He asks for Sung-min's name. Sung-min tells him his name. The man sighs. He says that since they have met, he cannot leave Sung-min alone. He says Sung-min must be hungry. He invites Sung-min to eat with him. He promises to explain more about Area during the meal. Sung-min is happy. He thanks the man. The man asks if Sung-min is thirsty. Sung-min nods. The man gives him a canteen. Sung-min thanks him again and drinks from the bottle. But suddenly he spits the water out, right onto the man's face. The man screams and clutches his face in pain. Sung-min smirks. He says it is hard to act like a new and innocent person. He asks the man if he wanted to poison him with goblin paralysis poison. Sung-min explains that the poison is colorless and tasteless when mixed with water. But it has a tiny smell, and it tingles on the tongue. However, if it gets in the eyes, it burns much more. The man is shocked. He realizes Sung-min is not a normal new recruit in Area. He asks Sung-min how he knows this. Sung-min smirks again. He says he is just a new extracurricular student. But before the man can attack him, Sung-min swiftly knees him in the groin. The man falls in pain. Sung-min says that even though he just arrived, he has 13 years of experience. While the man groans on the ground, Sung-min draws his sword and swings it. He tells the man that he should remember Area's #1 rule: do not trust anyone. This is the worst world in the universe. Time skips forward. Sung-min has almost nothing with him, only 100,000 eras and 1 dagger. He thinks it is better than nothing. He touches his body and checks himself. He feels strange. He does not have any scars or muscles. Then he realizes the truth. He really traveled back in time, 13 years, to the moment he first appeared in Area. Sung-min thinks about his past life. He is 27 years old. Before returning, he was a C-Ranked mercenary. His life was miserable. He had no talent, no noble background, and no path to the top. He kept looking for ways to become stronger. One day, he got lucky. He found a hidden dungeon. After a hard battle, he found a small chest inside. He opened it with hope. Inside, there was only a single stone. He did not know what it was for, but he carried it with him. Then right before he died, he saw a notification. The Stone of Return is activated. He will return to the point of departure, 13 years ago. Now Sung-min understands. The stone's purpose is to send its owner back in time. He quickly checks his stats, but they are empty. He has no abilities, no skills. He gets angry. He hoped he would keep his power, but everything is gone. He realizes it is the same as before. Nothing has changed, except for one thing. He still has 13 years of combat experience. His memories are not perfect, but he remembers key events. He also knows about extracurricular students' benefits. Sung-min goes to a chiropractor. Many people from different worlds arrive in area, including magicians and martial artists, but extracurricular students are usually the weakest. They arrive without any skills. Most of them die before they get a chance to grow. That was Sungmin's past life, filled with humiliation, poverty, and endless struggle. For 13 years, he had nothing but pain, and unfortunately, in the end, he died without achieving anything. But this time, he will change everything. He tells the chiropractor he wants an operation to enhance his skeleton. He is determined to do anything to make his life better. A while later, a notification appears. His skeleton has been upgraded to a low-level martial artist. Sungmin also learns the heavenly concentration technique. He leaves the chiropractor's office with hope. He now has 2 ways to grow stronger: his new skeleton and his new technique. These are things he never got in his past life. He suddenly remembers that Xenovis has an old bookstore. In his past life, there was a hidden level 1 concentration technique book there. If he had learned it before, he could have become stronger much faster. He decides to go there this time. Sungmin then sets his next goal: winning a Coliseum tournament in 1 year. The tournament is only for extracurricular students, and the requirements are low. He is confident he can win. But first, he needs money. He decides to become a monster hunter. Sungmin goes to a store to buy armor and weapons. The salesman laughs at him. Sungmin only has 60,000 eras, but to his bad luck, the cheapest armor costs 300,000 eras. Sungmin then tries to sell his modern clothes in exchange of the armor. He says they come from a highly advanced world and are valuable, but the salesman laughs at him. He calls Sungmin a naive rookie. However, he suddenly changes his mind. He decides to let Sungmin buy the armor on debt. He tells Sungmin that arrogance is a second blessing. He respects people who fight for survival. Sungmin now has a debt of 240,000 eras. Later, Sungmin enters a forest. As the light armor he bought increases survival chances, SK, he does not regret going into debt. In his past life, no one helped him but to his surprise. But this time, things are different. Suddenly, he stops as he remembers the first time he hunted here. Back then, he was weak and scared. Now he is stronger, so he laughs at his past self. Suddenly, a goblin appears in front of him. Sungmin quickly charges forward. He attacks the goblin with his spear called Spirit Knocking Spear. His first kill in this life is complete. As he looks at his hand, he feels pain. The technique burns his palm, but Sungmin smiles. This is just the beginning. Meanwhile, QEC, a green-haired girl, appears. A red aura surrounds her. A blue light appears above her head. It looks like someone is being summoned into area. She looks confused, just like Sungmin was. She is having a lot of questions. Sungmin stands in front of a building. It is an inn. He goes inside and Jack, the innkeeper, greets him. Jack recognizes Sungmin immediately. Sungmin tells Jack that he has brought payment for his stay. Jack asks, what is he paying for? And Sungmin says, it is the same as always. Jack looks at Sungmin's purse and is surprised. The purse can hold a spear, and such a purse is worth a lot of money. He asks where Sungmin got it. Sungmin replies that he got a discount from a merchant. Jack laughs and says Sungmin is a businessman because he brings goblin teeth and blood serum. Jack says this will last for a few days. He also says that the Wizard Guild does not care about Sungmin because they are greedy. Jack tells Sungmin that he has a talent. Sungmin does not understand what talent Jack is talking about. Jack explains that when Sungmin first came, he agreed to pay rent with his hunting rewards. Jack did not expect Sungmin to survive long. But now, Sungmin has been hunting successfully and paying rent for 2 weeks. Jack says this proves Sungmin is talented. Sungmin feels annoyed. Jack continues and says that most people like Sungmin struggle to survive. He happily says that Sungmin could become like Zeon if he continues. But Sungmin does not respond and goes to his room. He says he is tired, but inside he feels frustrated. He clenches his fists and grows angry. In his room, Sungmin thinks about Jack's words. He does not believe he is talented. In his past life, he only reached C rank as a mercenary. He remembers several techniques from his past life: soul-shattering spear, lightning leap, metal blood exoskeleton, and saxifrage strike. These are techniques from Area's mechanics. Sung-min can remember them and practice them, but they are only second-level combat techniques. He knows these will not take him far. His only hope is a technique called first-rate cultivation technique, but unfortunately it also has some limits. It does not provide endless energy. Sung-min begins to concentrate. He realizes he needs better martial arts techniques to improve. The next morning, Sung-min leaves the inn. A girl stops him. She asks if he is going hunting again. She asks why he is risking his life. The girl is Lula, Jack's daughter. Sung-min says he is an outsider, and this is his only way to make money. Lula asks why he does not find a regular job. She gives an example and says her father, Jack, would take care of him. Sung-min refuses, as he says he does not know how to cook or clean. Lula argues that learning to be an innkeeper is safer than risking his life every day. Sung-min looks away and smiles. He feels pleased that she worries about him, but he still goes out and says he will be back for lunch. Sung-min remembers living like this before. In his past life, he always followed others and did what they asked. He knows he can live like that again, but he refuses. Because this time, he wants something different. He wants something he always envied. So, he decides that he will do anything to succeed in this life. Later, Sung-min hears a bell ring. It is midday, and new arrivals appear in the town square. Suddenly, a portal opens. A green-haired girl steps out. Sung-min first thinks she is a boy, and assumes she practices martial arts. They seem to be the same age. The girl looks confused. Sung-min knows that local bandits will notice her behavior. Soon the bandits appear in front of the girl. Sung-min watches but decides to walk away. However, he suddenly bumps into someone. It is a tall man with a scar on his lip. The man angrily claims that Sung-min broke his collarbone. The bandit slaps Sung-min hard and throws him to the ground. People around them watch, but no one helps. The bandit tells the crowd not to worry. He says Sung-min deserves punishment. He demands payment. The people watching quickly leave. Another bandit joined Hyung. Sung-min feels unlucky. He knows these men are part of a gang. Hyung's punch is not strong, but he knows how to fight. Sung-min realizes that Hyung is a third-grade hand-to-hand combat fighter. This is the lowest rank, but still better than nothing. Sung-min himself has not even reached this level. He understands he cannot win alone. The local authorities do not care about outsiders, so no one will help him. Suddenly, Sung-min shouts at the green-haired girl. He warns her not to drink the water because it contains paralysis poison. The girl suddenly stops, but Sung-min does not know if she can fight, but he thinks that she is from Murim, so she should have some skills. The girl begins to pour the water on the ground. Meanwhile, we see Hyung gets angry. He tells Sung-min that he looks decent but acts shamefully. One of Hyung's men says that perverted nobles might buy the girl. Hyung attacks Sung-min with his knee. Sung-min knows he cannot let this happen. He uses lightning leap to dodge. Then he swings his elbow using the metal blood exoskeleton technique. He punches Hyung's side. The other bandits look shocked. Sung-min keeps attacking and uses the saxifrage strike technique. But Hyung does not fall. Instead, he laughs. Sung-min realizes that Hyung has strong defensive skills. With his small body and low strength, Sung-min knows he cannot defeat Hyung. Suddenly, another bandit shouts. The town guards are coming. The bandits decide to retreat. The green-haired girl watches Sung-min. She seems impressed by his determination. Sung-min knows his fists are not enough. He takes out his spear. But before he can fight, the girl suddenly stands in front of him. She asks him to repeat what he said earlier. Sung-min is shocked. Before he can answer, Hyung attacks again. The girl lightly touches his fist. Hyung flies backward and crashes into his companions. The girl claims the bandit does not know his place. Sung-min is amazed. The girl used a palm strike filled with spiritual energy. This is not a second-class or even first-class hand-to-hand combat technique. Sung-min realizes that she is a master. He cannot believe it. She is the same age as him and was summoned just a few weeks after him. Suddenly he realizes she is a young sky demon, Weiji Ho Yeon, and she comes from the cult of the heavenly demon. This cult values power above all. The strongest become leaders. Sung-min feels nervous. Yeon introduces herself and says he is 13 years old. Sung-min is surprised. He is only 1 year younger than him. Yeon says he is interested in area because it is different from her world. He asks if there is a sky demon cult here. Sung-min says no. Yeon laughs and then suddenly becomes serious. He reminds Sung-min that he shouted at him in the square when he warned him about the poisoned water. Then he demands to know why Sung-min spoke to her like that. Sung-min quickly apologizes, explaining he did not know he was a young leader. But Yeon finds it amusing. He says he saw Sung-min fight. He calls his techniques clumsy. He asks who taught him such bad skills. Sung-min gets angry. But before he can argue, Yeon says he will teach him martial arts. Sung-min is shocked. He wonders if Yeon is serious. Yeon says he will teach him. But there is one condition. Sung-min becomes nervous. Yeon smiles and announces the condition. Sung-min must be his friend. Sung-min is shocked and does not know what to think. We go back in time and see Yeon talking to his father. Yeon asks if he can have a friend. His father is surprised and asks who told him about this. Yeon holds up a book and says he read it there. The book says that with a friend, no trouble is too big. Yeon's father agrees but says this is only true for normal people, not for him. Yeon is the heir to the throne and will lead many demon warriors one day. His father, Weiji Huk, is the leader of the Sky Demon cult. He shouts that a ruler does not need friends. Instead, Yeon should focus on training in martial arts. He tells Yeon to stop reading useless books. Yeon becomes upset and runs away. Hak watches his son go and thinks about his strength. Even though Yeon is only 10 years old, he is already very powerful. Hak knows his son is strong, but it also scares him. He worries about what will happen in the future. We return to the present. Yeon asks Sung-min to be his friend. Yeon is the heir to the heavenly demon cult and has always been watched by others. He has trained since he was a baby and never had time to make friends. Sung-min is confused and asks why Yeon chose him. Yeon asks if Sung-min is not friends with people his age. Sung-min is surprised, but shakes Yeon's hand. Yeon smiles and says that Sung-min is now his friend. Sung-min feels strange because he is actually 27 years old, yet he is becoming friends with a 13-year-old. Yeon keeps his promise and begins teaching Sung-min martial arts. He teaches him the path of the Violet Dawn. This technique was created by an unorthodox demon sect. The energy it creates is purple. Sung-min thought Yeon would teach him the Sky Demon martial arts. But Yeon explains that only the heavenly demon and his heirs can learn those techniques. Instead, he says the Violet Dawn technique is still very powerful. A month passes. Sung-min trains hard and becomes stronger. Now he is somewhere between second and first-class martial arts mastery. In his past life, this would have been a great achievement, but Yeon is not impressed. He says that Sung-min's teacher is the great Yeon, yet he has only improved this much. Yeon says that Sung-min has no talent. Sung-min feels annoyed but does not argue. One day while hunting, Sung-min sees something moving in the trees. Suddenly, a huge orc jumps out and swings a bat at him. Sung-min barely dodges in time. If he was slower, his head would have been smashed. Sung-min quickly attacks. He uses his spear and kills the orc. He feels proud of himself. But Yeon is watching and laughs. He asks why Sung-min is so happy about killing just one orc. Sung-min walks up to the orc's body and finds something strange. Orcs are not supposed to be in this area, so how did this one get here? Suddenly, a man in a white cloak appears. He says that Sung-min is a good fighter for his age. He introduces himself as Woo Hir-young. In the capital, people call him the Orchid Sword. Sung-min asks what Hir-young wants. Hir-young explains that there is a bigger problem involving the orcs. Then, we move to the city. A man named Do Sangryang, also known as a little monkey, looks at Sung-min and asks Hir-young why they need him. Hir-young says that Sung-min may look small, but he saw his skills in battle, and he believes Sung-min will be useful. A man named Wang Pei, also known as the Black Rain Dagger, agrees with Hir-young. Then, a girl introduces herself as Rainier, and she is a student of magic from the Velas school. Rainier asks Sung-min if he knows about the job they are offering. She explains that an orc tribe has set up a camp near the city. These orcs attack villages and travelers. Hir-young says that the Mercenary Guild is offering a reward of 20 million eras to the group that destroys the orc camp. With the spoils, the total reward will be around 35 million eras. Sung Min asks how they will split the money. Hye-young says it will be divided among 5 people. Sung Min calculates that he will earn around 7 million eras if he joins. This is a rare chance, but he also wonders if he can trust these people. After thinking for a moment, Sung Min decides to join them. Hye-young is happy and tells Sung Min that he made the right choice. With Sung Min on their team, the mission will be easier. Sung Min thanks Hye-young for his kind words. Then, he notices 2 men sitting nearby and asks who they are. Hye-young explains that they are just porters, as they are nobodies with no class. Their job is to carry equipment for a small fee. Hye-young says they are not important. This makes Sung Min feel uneasy. He does not like the way Hye-young talks about them, but he stays quiet. The group prepares to leave. As they get ready, Sung Min watches Hye-young. There is something about him that feels off. He smiles creepy, almost like he is hiding something. Therefore, the group begins their journey. Hye-young leads the way, and the porter walks at the back. As they move forward, Sung Min asks Monkey how many orcs are in the camp. Monkey says there are around 50, but they will only have to fight about 30. He explains that orcs are slow and clumsy, so the fight will be easy. If they surprise the orcs, they can kill them quickly. Sung Min asks about the plan. Hye-young explains that they will split into 2 groups. One group includes Hye-young and Sung Min. The other group includes Wang Pei, Monkey, and Lady Rainier. Rainier will use wind magic to spread their scent all over the forest. Orcs hate when someone enters their land, so they will come out of the camp to fight. Monkey says that once the orcs come, Rainier will attack with battle magic. Meanwhile, Sung Min and Monkey will light a flare to attract another group of orcs. This will split the orcs into 2 groups, making them easier to defeat. Sung Min thinks the plan is simple but reasonable. He believes it would be better to set traps, but there is no time. Also, they do not have enough people for that. After some time, Hye-young sees a sign. He says they are near the orc territory and will now split up. He wishes everyone luck in battle. Sung Min turns around and looks at the porter. The porter is very tired. They have been walking for half a day, and Sung Min knows this must be hard for an extracurricular student. He looks at the porter and remembers his past life. He feels unhappy because the porter reminds him of his old self. Sung Min asks the porter his name. The porter says his name is Brass. Sung Min tells Brass that he is not sure he can protect him when the battle starts. He gives Brass the choice to stay or run away. Sung Min realizes that Hye-young does not care about the porter. He has not even noticed their conversation. Brass says he cannot run away. Sung Min is not surprised. He knows that if Brass runs, the guild will punish him. Sung Min tells Brass to protect himself by any means necessary. Hye-young tells Sung Min that they have arrived. Luckily, they did not meet any orc patrols. Hye-young points to a fence in the distance and says that it is the orc camp. Hye-young wants to light the flare to attract the orcs, but Sung Min stops him. He takes out a small pouch from his belt. Hye-young looks at the pouch and realizes it is a magic bag that can hold many items. Sung Min takes out some water and mixes it with dirt to make mud. He explains that they need to cover themselves in mud to hide their scent. Hye-young is surprised by Sung Min's cleverness. He says that Sung Min is very smart for his age. Sung Min replies that he had a good teacher. Suddenly, a flare appears in the sky. The orcs see it. Hye-young has an idea. He suggests sending the porter ahead as bait. The orcs will focus on him, making it easier for them to attack from behind. Brass is shocked and terrified. He begs Hye-young not to send him to his death. Hye-young laughs and says he was only joking. But Sung Min is angry at Hye-young's cruel behavior. Sung Min steps forward and says that he will go first instead of Brass. Brass cannot believe what he is hearing. Hye-young smiles and says he does not mind. Meanwhile, a group of 13 orcs moves toward them. The battle begins. Sung Min fights the orcs. He kills one, leaving 12. Then he kills another, leaving 11. He wonders if he can win. but he pushes away his doubts and decides to fight with full strength. Sung-min suddenly thinks about Brass. He wonders why he cares about him. They are not friends. They are just two weak people in a dangerous world. But something inside Sung-min does not want to abandon him. Sung-min remembers a lesson from his past life. A teacher once told him that the strong make the rules. In this world, power is everything. But Sung-min knows this rule is harsh and cruel. He remembers his training with Yeon. His teacher told him to always fight from a distance and use his spear wisely. Sung-min focuses. He uses the level 3 soul-shattering spear attack and kills 2 orcs at once. Then he follows up with lightning-splitting strike. The orcs watching from the side begin to fear him. Here Young joins the battle and starts killing orcs as well. Meanwhile, an orc attacks Brass. Brass is too scared to move. He closes his eyes and waits for the orc to kill him. But before the orc can strike, Sung-min steps in and kills it. Brass opens his eyes and sees that he is safe. Sung-min is glad that he could protect him. The battle ends, and all 13 orcs are defeated. Here Young walks among the bodies and cuts off their ears. He counts them and confirms that they killed 13 orcs. He collects the ears in a bag to prove their victory, then throws the bag to the porter, Brass. The group prepares to leave and find their companions. As they walk, Brass quietly thanks Sung-min before moving ahead. Sung-min watches him for a moment before following. Meanwhile, Monkey and the others wait for Sung-min and Hye-young to return. Monkey wonders why they are taking so long since the rest of the group already finished killing their orcs. When Sung-min and Hye-young arrive, Monkey notices that they are covered in mud and asks what happened. Hye-young laughs and says everything went perfectly, giving credit to Sung-min for helping. He also warns that the real battle is just beginning. Suddenly, something flies through the air. A dagger strikes Rainier, and she falls, bleeding. Blood pours from her wound as she groans in pain. Monkey is confused, not understanding what just happened, but Hye-young is already moving, swinging his weapon toward Monkey. Sung-min reacts quickly, blocking Hye-young's attack with his spear and pushing him back. Hye-young tells Sung-min to stay out of the way. At that moment, Sung-min remembers something from his past life. Years ago, he worked part-time as a porter. One day, he was carrying goods when he saw a large crowd gathered in the street. He stopped to look. A man beside him explained that they were executing a special criminal, a mercenary from Murim who had betrayed his teammates and taken all the rewards for himself. He was caught and was now being punished. Sung-min looked at the criminal being executed. It was Hye-young. Now in the present, Sung-min fights Hye-young. Hye-young is surprised by how fast Sung-min reacted, almost as if he knew this attack was coming. Sung-min remembers Hye-young's execution clearly. Even though 13 years have passed, he can never forget it. It was the first execution Sung-min ever witnessed. Hye-young sighs and says it can't be helped. He admits that Sung-min is a good fighter, as he saw his skills during the orc battle, but Hye-young still believes he is stronger. Sung-min knows that Hye-young is a second-class fighter, while he is only between third and second class. The difference in skill is huge, but still, Sung-min is not afraid. He refuses to give up as he is confident at reading Hye-young's movements. As Hye-young prepares to slash with his sword, Sung-min quickly moves and strikes first with his spear. His attack lands, forcing Hye-young to jump back. Suddenly, Hye-young touches his mouth and sees blood. He is still confident, but suddenly his hands begin to tremble. Something is wrong. Just then, Sung-min reveals that he mixed a long-acting poison into the mud that Hye-young smeared on himself. The poison is not deadly since it didn't enter his stomach, but it weakens the body. Hye-young's hands are now too shaky to fight properly. Sung-min tells him that in this condition, even a weaker opponent could defeat him. But before Sung-min can react, Hye-young suddenly dashes toward Brass and grabs him, pressing his sword against the porter's throat. Sung-min freezes in shock, realizing what Hye-young is doing. Hye-young believes Sung-min cares about Brass and thinks Sung-min is soft-hearted. He is sure Sung-min will have no choice but to let him go. Sung-min wonders if Hye-young really believes taking a hostage will save him. He tries to move forward, but Hye-young threatens to kill Brass if he does. Sung Min thinks back to his years as a mercenary. He wonders why he is even helping Brass. They are not friends. Brass is just a weak porter. But then Sung Min sees Hye Young's crazed expression and realizes now is not the time to think about this. Sung Min is exhausted from the battle with the orcs. If he were at full strength, he could strike before Hye Young could react. But unfortunately now, he is too tired. Hye Young might recover from the poison soon. If Monkey gets fooled and sides with Hye Young, then Sung Min will have to fight two opponents at once. Sung Min cannot wait. He must act now. Brass looks at Sung Min. Then, he makes a bold decision. Brass suddenly steps back and slashes Hye Young's arm with a small knife. They both fall to the ground. Witnessing this, Sung Min is surprised. Hye Young is furious, as he cannot believe an extracurricular student dared to attack him. In anger, Hye Young thrusts his sword into Brass's body. Brass gasps and collapses. Meanwhile, we see Hye Young smiles, satisfied. Sung Min stands over Hye Young, who is lying under Brass's body. Hye Young looks up at Sung Min and realizes he is in danger. He tries to talk, but Sung Min is too angry. Without hesitation, he drives his spear into Hye Young's chest, killing him. Meanwhile, Monkey fights Wang Pei, and he wins, but is not badly injured. Sung Min kneels beside Brass. The porter is dead. Sung Min feels guilty. Brass died trying to help him. He stands there, looking at the lifeless bodies of Brass and Hye Young. His heart feels heavy. Later, Sung Min and Monkey go to the Mercenary Guild. They collect their reward for killing the orcs and split the money and loot. Afterward, Sung Min returns home. Yeon greets him cheerfully, noticing that Sung Min is late. Sung Min feels exhausted and immediately lies on the bed. As he stares at the ceiling, he thinks about what happened. If he had been just a little stronger, he could have saved Brass. This thought bothers him. He does not want to live this life, feeling guilty about his failures. Suddenly, Yeon speaks, saying that Sung Min has killed a man. Sung Min is startled and asks how he knows. Yeon replies that he can smell the blood. Sung Min admits that he had no choice. A second-class fighter attacked him, and he had to fight back. Yeon watches him closely and says, "There is something else Sung Min is not saying." He feels like Sung Min is hiding something. Sung Min remains silent, lost in his thoughts. And with this, we wrap up today's recap on Yeon's mess of a life. But don't get too comfortable, because his disasters are far from over. There's plenty more chaos left. So hit that notification bell for updates. His story is just getting started. Hello, and welcome back. Let's jump right into Yeon's story from where we left off. If you're new to the channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button, because we bring stories like never before. And if you haven't watched the first part of his journey, the link is in the description. Now let's begin. Sung Min sits on his bed, thinking about Yeon's question. Yeon is curious about Sung Min's abilities and notices something unusual. He observes how Sung Min has quickly adapted to this world and suspects that he is different from other extracurricular students. Yeon has spent time wandering around the city, trying to understand the world. He realizes that extracurricular students live difficult lives, often feeling powerless. He also knows that while humans kill insects easily, taking the life of an animal or a person requires crossing an emotional barrier. Yet Sung Min went hunting on his first day after being summoned. This makes Yeon question him more. Sung Min tries to act normal, saying survival made it necessary, but Yeon does not believe that is the whole story. Yeon explains that many extracurricular students hesitate to kill, even when they understand the harsh reality. Sung Min is not like them. Yeon also points out another strange thing. Sung Min does not have any special abilities, which should limit his learning. Even with training, he should only be able to master a small portion of what Yeon teaches him. However, in just 3 weeks, Sung Min has become skilled with a spear. His movements are too refined for a beginner. Usually, new fighters struggle with controlling energy and footwork, but Sung Min does not show those mistakes. Yeon questions how someone without abilities can learn so quickly. As they sit in silence, Yeon realizes that Sung Min is hiding something. He acknowledges that everyone has secrets, including himself. To make things fair, he offers Sung-min a deal. If Sung-min shares his secret, Yeon will reveal his own and teach Sung-min an extremely powerful technique. He gives him a choice between mastering spear combat or movement skills in battle. Sung-min finds this offer ironic. Without special abilities, he cannot fully use Yeon's teachings, nor does he have the internal energy to apply them properly. Yeon considers this and makes an unexpected decision. He will give Sung-min a quarter of his own energy. Sung-min is shocked and cannot tell if Yeon is serious. Yeon insists that he is simply curious about Sung-min. He also sees Sung-min as his only friend and wants to understand him better. To Yeon, friendship means sharing secrets, and he is willing to go first. Before Sung-min reveals anything, he makes Yeon promise not to kill him for being honest. Yeon is confused by this request, but agrees. Then Yeon lets down his hair and reveals his secret. He is actually a girl. Sung-min is completely shocked, even though it should have been obvious. Yeon explains that only men can become leaders of the heavenly demon sect. Her father ordered her to live as a boy, so she continues this act even after arriving in this world. Now that she has shared her secret, it is Sung-min's turn. He takes a deep breath and gathers his thoughts. He tells Yeon that he is not an ordinary person. He has lived before. Yeon is surprised at first but quickly understands. She realizes that Sung-min died and then returned to the past. It is an unbelievable idea, but in a world like this, she believes it is possible. Yeon asks why Sung-min thought she would want to kill him. Sung-min explains that although he was reborn as a 14-year-old boy, his real age is 27. He wonders if Yeon feels betrayed since she thought they were the same age. Yeon, however, does not care about his real age. She reminds Sung-min that she chose to teach him martial arts and to be his friend. He never tricked her. He only accepted what she offered. This does not change their friendship in her eyes. She has spent 3 weeks with him and sees him as a true friend. Sung-min is speechless. He never expected such kindness. He is deeply moved and feels grateful beyond words. Yeon then shifts the conversation back to his training. She comments on how weak Sung-min was in his previous life, expressing pity for his low skill level back then. However, she decides to ask more questions later. Right now, she is focused on helping him grow stronger. Without hesitation, Yeon prepares to transfer a quarter of her internal energy to Sung-min. Sung-min is shocked and excited at the same time. Martial artists use internal energy in combat. It gives them superpowers and grows stronger with concentration techniques over time. Fighters spend their whole lives increasing their energy potential, which is the foundation of their power. Yeon tells Sung-min that his blood vessels are contaminated. The transfer of energy potential is rare, and his vessels are very dirty. She also says that starting martial arts at 14 is too late, but she is still going to give him a quarter of her internal energy. How much he can keep depends on him. Yeon advises him to use the Violet Dawn path to absorb it properly. Yeon begins transferring internal energy to Sung-min. He feels intense pain, and his body becomes tense. After some time, an aura starts coming from his hand. He is shocked that this is only a quarter of Yeon's energy. It is already much more than what he could gather in his past life. Yeon asks him how much he has managed to keep. Sung-min estimates that he has held onto half of it. She tells him not to worry, because the remaining energy will spread through his meridians. If he follows the Violet Dawn path, he will be able to absorb all of it into his body. Suddenly, Yeon collapses. Sung-min panics and rushes to her, asking what is wrong. She tells him not to make a fuss, and says she is just a little tired. Sung-min wonders why she is doing all of this for him. Yeon simply says it is because they are friends. She tells him not to feel burdened since she is doing it for herself. Then, she keeps her promise and offers to teach him another technique, the spear technique. Sung-min is surprised that she is willing to give him such a powerful skill. Yeon explains that the Spear King's technique, known as the Ninth Heaven Spear, is perfect for him. Sung-min wants to say something, but Yeon continues speaking. She says that because of his abilities, it will be difficult for him to fully master the technique. So, she will simplify it for him. He still wants to protest, but Yan tells him not to argue. She insists that she is doing it for her own reasons. However, she admits that she is really doing it for him, as he is her first friend. She also says that she does not want Sung-min to disappear again, after only 13 years. Her words deeply move him. He bows to her in gratitude, but she immediately hits him. She says that friends do not bow to each other. Sung-min asks why bowing is wrong and why she thinks friends do not do it. She simply replies that she does not like it. Then, she pushes him down, so that he is lying next to her. She suggests doing something more enjoyable instead. Sung-min is shocked and asks what she means. Yeon tells him to talk about his past life. She wants to know what he knew about her back then. Sung-min starts his story. In his past life, he barely survived and only knew about Yeon through rumors. People said she was at the peak of area, unmatched in strength. Yeon laughs and says that it is not surprising since it is her. Sung-min tells her that she left the city just a month after appearing in his past life. Then she disappeared for 3 years. Yeon says she must have been traveling. She always longed for freedom, which was impossible in the cult. There, she was constantly watched and had to follow strict rules set by the cult leader. Now, she is happy to be in this world. She believes she was called here so she could finally be free. She also met Sung-min, her first friend. Sung-min feels shy about being called her first friend. Then Yeon says she will leave in a month. She wants to enjoy her freedom and this new world. Before she leaves, she plans to finish teaching Sung-min the 9th Heaven Spear technique. She asks him what he plans to do after she leaves. Sung-min has not thought about it yet. He remembers his past life, how weak and miserable he was. He does not want to live like that again. He tells Yeon that he wants to live better this time. Yeon asks if that is his only goal. She tells him to think about what he really wants and tell her later. Then Yeon remembers something important. She is excited and asks Sung-min more about his past life. He hesitates, saying there is not much to tell. Yeon already expected this answer. Sung-min suddenly thinks about his old life in Xenovis. He wonders if he ever had a real friend. Then he realizes the truth. He never had one. It surprises him. Just as he is Yeon's first friend, she is his first friend too. That night, they talk about many things. A month passes. The weather is beautiful, and Sung-min is training hard. Yeon wants to see how much he has learned in this time. It is almost time for her to leave. After this final training session, she will begin her journey. Sung-min is determined to prove himself. He shouts that he will show her his strength. Yeon asks if this is how he imagined the fight. She warns him that with his abilities, he should not fight carelessly. Sung-min becomes extremely angry and charges at Yeon. Yeon gives Sung-min a head start of 20 moves. Sung-min wonders how to use them effectively. Then we see a flashback. Yeon tells Sung-min that she has found a way to simplify the 9th Heaven Spear technique for him. She calls it the improved 9th Heaven Spear technique. Sung-min's style. Sung-min feels uncomfortable with his name being in it, but Yeon says she adjusted the technique specifically for him, so there is no problem. However, Sung-min does not want his name included. Back in the present, Sung-min realizes that Yeon has combined his technique with elements of the soul-shattering spear technique. He wonders if this is the right moment to use it. He decides to try and uses the first move of the improved technique. Yeon does not move. She simply holds out her hand and easily parries his spear, counting 1. The spear is deflected, so Sung-min tries a roundhouse kick, but Yeon dodges it. This is his second move. He then uses the second movement of his spear technique. But once again, Yeon blocks it with just one hand. This is his third move. Yeon comments that Sung-min has improved a lot since the start of his training, especially in parrying, blocking, and striking. She explains that parrying redirects an attack outward, while blocking stops an attack with a downward motion. These are the basics of using a spear. She asks if he knew about them before she taught him. Sung-min says he learned them on his own through trial and error. Yeon tells him to keep practicing every day, until these moves become second nature. Sung Min thanks her. He continues attacking, making his fourth and fifth moves. After his sixth move, Yeon gives him advice. He should use his back muscles more to increase his attack power. Sung Min takes her advice and makes his seventh move. Yeon acknowledges his improvement. Sung Min is frustrated. He has already reached the level of a second-class martial artist thanks to Yeon's teachings. But even so, she is blocking all his attacks with just her right hand. Yeon is at the highest level of martial arts. She then says that Sung Min is being indecisive. She asks if he has given up. Sung Min denies it and rushes at her again, but she effortlessly parries his attacks once more. Yeon tells him he has only one move left. For the first time, Sung Min manages to get his spear very close to Yeon. She looks surprised, but in an instant, she vanishes. Sung Min is shocked, and we see Yeon suddenly appearing behind him. She lightly touches his shoulder and tells him he has lost. Yeon praises Sung Min for his improvement. However, he feels frustrated. He tells her she cannot console him when she blocked all his attacks so easily with one hand. Yeon notices that Sung Min has good instincts. Despite his limited abilities, she believes he was born for martial arts. She points out that he sensed her moving behind him, even though he could not see her. This alone is a superpower. She is confident that one day he will develop this ability further and gain a big advantage over others. She then says something strange. She hopes to see him in 10 years. Sung Min does not understand. Yeon reminds him that a month ago, she asked if he had a goal. She asks him if he has decided on one, but Sung Min says he still does not know. Yeon tells him that if he has no goal, then he should make her his target. Sung Min clenches his fist. She explains that a person needs a purpose in life. Without a goal, a person is like a boat without a captain. She tells him to set a goal to defeat her in battle 10 years from now. Sung Min immediately says he cannot do it. He shouts that even if he makes her his target, he will never be able to become like her. He asks her to stop talking about something impossible. He insists that he has no talent. He calls Yeon a natural genius and says she probably had access to elixirs. He believes she does not understand what it is like to be a nobody. He says it is impossible for him to reach her level because they were never equal from the start. Yeon sighs and says he is doing it again. She looks disgusted. She tells him that this attitude is what she dislikes most about him. He is still holding on to the failures of his past life, letting them drag him down. Sung Min gets angry. He reminds her that he was summoned to area without any special abilities. He had to fight a wild boar in the mud just to survive. His entire past life was spent struggling in poverty. Yeon acknowledges this, but tells him that things are different now. He has learned mystical martial arts from a master. In just 3 months, he has become a second-class fighter. She asks if he realizes that this is a second chance for him. She says that instead of using this new life to find meaning, he is stuck listening to the inferiority complex from his past life. He does not even allow himself to try. She challenges him. If something seems too hard, does he just give up without even attempting it? She reminds him that he has a new life and a new opportunity. But before she can continue, Sung Min interrupts her. Yeon asks if he is really angry. Sung Min grins. He cannot believe that he is being lectured by a 13-year-old. Then, he finally gives in. If Yeon insists so much, he will make her his target. He declares that he will train with only one goal in mind, to fight her in 10 years and plunge a spear into her heart. Yeon waves her hand and tells him that if he does that, she will die. But he does not need to be so extreme toward a friend. Sung Min suddenly realizes what he just said. Yeon clarifies that it will only be a friendly sparring match. Then, Sung Min is surprised by something. Yeon laughs and teases him, saying that he was so angry a moment ago, but now he looks embarrassed. She does not understand him. She repeats that they will meet again in 10 years. She says she is looking forward to their fight. Sung Min duets confused. Yeon suddenly gets close to him. She asks if he has butterflies in his stomach. Sung Min quickly denies it, saying that she just moved closer and that she is still a child. Yeon smirks and moves even closer. She reminds him that he is actually a 27-year-old man with the face of a teenager. Sung-min panics and tells her to step back because she is too close. He keeps yelling for her to move away, but she leans in and touches his cheek with her nose. She asks if this means he does not like her that way. Yeon confidently says that in 10 years, she will grow into a beautiful woman, so stunning that Sung-min will be speechless. Then, he will not be able to call her a child anymore. At that time, Sung-min sets 3 goals for himself. First is to survive. Second is take advantage of all the opportunities he missed in his previous life. And lastly, to defeat Weiji Hoyeon. As Yeon prepares to leave, she turns around and tells Sung-min to don't dies. Sung-min smiles, assuring him he will not. Then, they part ways. Sung-min has 3 chances he shouldn't miss in this lifetime: skeletal enhancement, the pure heavenly concentration technique, and a tournament for extracurricular activities. Various tournaments are held in Xanavis, and Sung-min can participate in one of them. 10 months after Yeon left, Sung-min enters the tournament and meets a strong man who underestimates him. The man suggests that Sung-min give up since he is a level 3 fighter. However, during this time, Sung-min has grown to the first level of martial arts proficiency. As a result, he wins the tournament with ease. Among the extra-class fighters, Sung-min has no equal. The reward for the tournament is the Sacred Power Elixir, which increases internal energy potential. Sung-min takes the elixir immediately. He knows that it gives him the boost he needed, and now he has everything he wanted from Xanavis City, except one thing. Later, in the city, Sung-min visits the salesman, who lent him money. The salesman congratulates him on winning the tournament and asks why he is here. Sung-min says he has come to say goodbye. The salesman already knew Sung-min would leave. He mentions that the little extracurricular student has achieved everything possible in Xanavis. The salesman warns that the outside world is dangerous, but believes Sung-min will handle it because smart people survive longer. The man then gives Sung-min an oversized pouch, saying it's about 1.5 times bigger than the one Sung-min bought the day before. Sung-min asks why the salesman is giving him a gift. The salesman says that when you give a gift, you need to. He explains that he cannot sell the pouch because it's in bad condition. As a parting gift, he tells Sung-min to come back when he becomes popular, and to tell everyone that he owed money to the merchant when he was young. Sung-min becomes angry, and we are transported to the inn. Sung-min enters, and Lula notices he's packing. She asks if he is moving out, and Sung-min is surprised she knows. Lula says that it's the first time he has ever cleaned his room, and only a blind person would miss it. She asks why he's leaving, as it's her responsibility to take care of him. Sung-min explains that he has to go. Lula reacts with frustration, saying she wishes he would go missing and die somewhere, then runs off. Jack is on his way to a meeting and asks Sung-min if he understands Lula. Jack tells him that Lula is young and asks Sung-min to be understanding. Jack also mentions that Sung-min seems much older than his body suggests. He gives Sung-min a cloak he used to wear when he was a young warrior. Although it doesn't look good, the cloak has heat magic and a magic spell that can help in a fight. Sung-min: "Thanks, Jack." The innkeeper says the cloak is too big for Sung-min, so he should go to the tailor. Jack pats Sung-min on the shoulder and says he will go far. Jack tells him that Sung-min is the most capable extracurricular student he has ever met, and almost sheds a tear. He tells Sung-min to take care of himself. Sung-min spends some time wandering around the city and ends up encountering Lula. She runs after him, apologizing for what she said earlier. She asks him not to die, and he is surprised that she ran so far just to apologize. She says that she's sorry he's leaving, but that she wants him to live a long life. She tells him that if things get hard, he can always come back to the city. Sung-min thanks her. Lula says that one day, she started seeing him differently, and thinks she may have started liking him. She says her hands are shaking, unsure of what's wrong with her. Sung-min says he noticed and apologizes. Lula pretends everything is fine and asks him to take care of himself. Sung-min reassures her that there's nothing to fear and that he won't die. He then says goodbye, and Lula continues to sob. Sung Min reflects on how, in his past life, it took him 3 years to leave Xenovis, but this time, it only took 1 year. Strangely, Sung Min realizes that he has no good memories from his previous life. But in this new life, he has experienced all the good he missed. He wonders if he will ever come back to Xenovis. Deciding that there's nothing to fear since he won't die, Sung Min continues his journey. He meets a man who says he hasn't met such a young practitioner in a long time. The man asks what kind of ban Sung Min wants to impose on himself. Sung Min decides that to achieve his goal, he needs to become stronger. Sung Min remembers a conversation with Yeon from the past. She asks where they should meet after 10 years, since she doesn't know the geography of this world. Sung Min thinks about it and suggests meeting in Behanger. But now he still has 9 years before that meeting. He doesn't know where to go next, but he knows he doesn't need to head to Behanger yet. He considers becoming a mercenary, but that would just repeat his past life. Instead, he wants to improve his skills. Then he remembers something: Mount Mercy. This mountain is connected to Mercy, the god of trials and hardships. There is a group of priests who live there, and they use special training methods. They place a forbidden spell on a person's body or senses, which makes training 100 times more effective. Sung Min decides to go there. As he walks, he feels that the mountain is not too far. When he arrives at Mount Mercy, he meets a priest who gives him a special ban. Sung Min accepts it and begins his training. The first ban placed on him is the prohibition of lightness. Because of this, his whole body feels unnaturally heavy. Even his equipment becomes much harder to carry. His oversized bag is much heavier than before, and even a simple piece of bread feels like a burden. The second ban is placed on his sense of taste. At first, Sung Min doesn't realize how bad it is, but when he takes a bite of bread, it suddenly turns into a pile of insects in his mouth. He spits it out in shock. This ban makes all food taste disgusting. It's not just about losing the ability to taste. Everything he eats feels nauseating. The textures change too. Instead of a normal piece of bread, it feels like he is chewing slimy, moving insects that release juices in his mouth. Sung Min quickly realizes that under this ban, drinking and eating will be very difficult. He didn't expect it to be this terrible. A thought crosses his mind. Should he give up? He questions whether he really needs to train this hard. He could go to Behanger and become a mercenary instead. If he did, he would quickly rise in rank. That path seems easier than his past life, and right now, he feels like he is pushing himself too far. But then, he remembers Yeon. This memory gives him strength. He stands up, grabs the bread, and forces himself to eat. Even though he feels sick, he drinks water to wash it down. He decides to try harder. While eating, he mutters something negative about Mercy. Suddenly, he hears a voice behind him telling him to be quiet. Startled, he turns around, but no one is there. A week passes. Sung Min is now out hunting. He hides, waiting for the right moment to attack a deer. When the moment comes, he lunges at the deer with his spear. But something strange happens. He freezes. He realizes he can't bring himself to kill the deer. The deer stands still for a moment, then runs away. Before leaving, it looks back as if mocking him. Sung Min is shocked. He kneels on the ground, feeling frustrated. For the past week, he has only eaten bread and water. He is weak. Life on Mount Mercy is harsh. The bans make everything harder. He must survive in the wild, find shelter from the rain, and hunt for food, all while dealing with his body's heaviness and the inability to enjoy eating. The nights are much colder than the days, and the predators are fast and strong. Because of the ban on lightness, every movement he makes feels slow and heavy. Even if he successfully hunts an animal, the ban on taste means he cannot enjoy his meal. Now, after a full week, his body is getting weaker. He planned to train here for 2 years, but he starts to wonder if it's worth it. If his body keeps failing, will this training really help him? Suddenly, a rock falls in front of him. He looks up and sees a girl with white hair, dressed completely in white. She jumps down and approaches him. Sung Min asks who she is, but she only waves in response. He notices a prohibition sign on her throat, meaning she is unable to speak. Sung Min remembers that Mount Mercy has a rule. People living here cannot harm each other. Realizing she isn't a threat, he relaxes and asks for her name. She points to the prohibition sign on her throat and then holds up a small cross. This tells him that she has taken a vow of silence. Then, she throws something at him. It is a deer, the same one that escaped from him earlier. Sung-min is surprised. He is about to refuse, but before he can, the girl picks up a stick and writes something on the ground. She explains that she has been watching him for a few days. She saw that if he continues like this, he will starve to death. That's why she decided to help him. Sung-min is grateful. He thanks her for the food and asks what she wants in return, but the girl shakes her head. She doesn't need anything. She simply wanted to help because she is kind. Sung-min meets a young huntress who decides to help him. She says she is helping only because she is kind. Whenever Sung-min is in trouble, she appears to assist him. He asks for her name and is surprised when she tells him her name is Baek Sogo. Sung-min has heard this name before. In his past life, she was a famous warrior. People called her Lightning because she was as fast as lightning. But Sung-min is not shocked just because she is a future celebrity. He is surprised because he knows something terrible. Sogo will die in 10 years. He remembers that she will die in the arms of the little demon Ouiji Hoyon. The rules of Mount Mercy are very strict. Every 6 months, the practitioners must choose a new band for themselves. They are also forbidden from harming each other. One day we find Sung-min sits under a tree, thinking about Baek Sogo's fate. He wonders where she will die. Just then, she suddenly appears in front of him. He is startled. She writes in the dirt, greeting him. He is surprised to see her cutting stone with just her finger. She tells him she was worried because he wasn't eating again, so she came to check on him. Sung-min thanks her. Then he notices something strange about her hand. She explains that she now has another ban. Now she can no longer use her left hand. Since it has been 6 months, she had to choose a new restriction. She says it is difficult to live without her left arm. Baek Sogo asks about Sung-min's bans. She says it must be hard for him, because he can't even enjoy eating. She asks if he knows what bans other practitioners have placed on themselves. Sung-min is curious, so she offers to introduce him to the other practitioners. Before he can even respond, she runs ahead. Sung-min wonders how he can keep up with her. She quickly returns and realizes her mistake. She forgot about Sung-min's ban on lightness. Because of this restriction, his body is extremely heavy, making it impossible for him to move fast. She tells him that with a weighted body, he needs to focus on movement techniques instead of just using his spear. Sung-min asks if she has been watching him train. He then asks her to teach him movement techniques. Baek Sogo refuses. She says she is kind, but she cannot share techniques that give her an advantage in battle. Sung-min laughs and pretends to joke, but deep inside, he is unhappy. She places a hand on his shoulder and tells him that since he is slow, she will carry him. Before he can protest, she warns him to hold on tight. When they arrive, another practitioner sees them and asks who Sung-min is. This girl calls Baek Sogo the mute and wants to know about the new boy. Baek Sogo introduces Sung-min as a new practitioner. The girl is Scarlet Lysir, the future archmage. Scarlet's ban is that she cannot wash or change her clothes, so she smells bad. Then another practitioner appears. He is Dokbi Jun, a future master swordsman. He has a vision ban, meaning he cannot see. Dokbi is excited to hear that Sung-min is a fighter. He wants to spar with him someday. Scarlet tells Sung-min that only 4 practitioners are left on the mountain after 6 months of training. Sung-min is shocked. He recognizes these names from his past life. These people will become great masters in the future, but right now, they are not famous yet. Soon, their names will spread across the land. Scarlet asks what ban Sung-min has placed on himself. When he tells her, she gets surprised. She realizes that he has taken 2 bans at once, even though he has not been on the mountain for 6 months yet. She warns him that he won't last long if he keeps making things harder for himself. Dokbi disagrees. He says Sung-min has come here to gain power, so it makes sense that he is pushing himself. He smiles and says Sung-min is trying to overcome his own limits at any cost. He asks Sung-min if this is true. Sung-min feels nervous, but admits that it is. Then Dokbi suddenly says something strange. He wonders how long Sung-min will last. He says he will keep an eye on him. Scarlet looks at Sogo and says she must be happy. Now there are two odd people on the mountain who took two bands at the beginning of their journey. She says it is time to return. Sung-min remembers that Scarlet said only 4 practitioners had survived for more than 6 months. Dokbi asks if Sung-min wants to meet the 4th person, but then he says he doesn't recommend it. Sung-min is confused. Dokbi Jun and Scarlet suddenly become serious. They warn him that this person, Flam, is dangerous. 4 months pass. By now, Sung-min has gotten used to the bands, but they feel even harder than before. His body is heavier and food tastes worse. However, he feels stronger. After 4 months of training, he upgrades the Violet Dawn path to 3 stars. Even though his skeleton enhancement was low grade, it greatly improves his martial arts growth. Life on the mountain is still difficult, but Sung-min keeps training. He can now cut through a tree with his spear. He feels proud as well as believes his hard work is paying off. During the day, he practices the 9th Heaven spear technique in his own style. At night, he trains in the Purple Dawn path. Every movement is painful. His bones feel like they might break, and his muscles scream with every attack. But he refuses to give up. He has set an important goal for himself, and he will survive. Sung-min notices that he has grown taller. His clothes are now too small for him. Suddenly, someone appears watching Sung-min practice with his spear. Suddenly, the stranger speaks. He says that Sung-min is good with the spear. He has blue hair and strange eyes. He tells Sung-min that he has never met someone the same age as him before. He introduces himself as Flam, and then he asks for Sung-min's name. And with this, we wrap up today's recap on Yeon's mess of a life, but don't get too comfortable. The second part is only the beginning of this wild regression. There is far more to come, so hit that notification bell for updates. His story is just getting started.